that's where the name of the company came from. And that's what Joe's Phenomenal originally was. So I gave him the salad dressing and he thought it was the best thing he ever had and said,
you thought it was phenomenal?
He said, yeah, he said, you got to sell this. It takes me 30 seconds to get ready to record. And it's always the same environment. So when you do your audio editing, I just have a script set up to edit my audio. And then it just, boom, just comes out fine. If you don't know, there's plenty of videos on YouTube to learn how to do that too. Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about construction, but I built the studio. I ended up getting up to about 260 pounds. And that was actually in the restaurant, and the computer company exasperated it because once I was full-time fixing people's computers, then I wasn't moving around as much. So the weight gain became an issue. So I was actually pre-diabetic.
Hello, I'm Dustin, PolyInnovator. Today I'm welcoming onto the PolyTools Creator Spotlight, Joe Lindner, aka Joe's Phenomenal, who is a content creator and YouTuber for low sugar recipes, kitchen tips, and reviews. Thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's one of those things where we were meeting at VidSummit. We were just talking about that event, and I know that there's so many content creators there, but being able to catch up with people after the fact is great. So I'm glad to have you on here. Thank you for being so open to it.
Oh yeah, it's my honor. Thank you.
So I guess the first question here is what got you started as a content creator? What was the main motivating factor there?
The main, to be a YouTube content creator?
In general, really.
Well, yeah, actually that's kind of where all of us had Instagrams and Facebook pages and everything like that before. But the YouTube channel was necessity. Because I've been in the tech industry for 30 years. And basically I had a hotel restaurant job, hence all this stuff. And I threw that away, including my retirement in Vegas, to run my computer company. And I ran that for 27 years. And it was right around COVID time. My problem with that company was it was always a company of one. I was always cutting discounts for people, so I couldn't hire anybody. Because I can't expect people that I hire to do stuff for free. Because I go out to a place, it's like an old guy in a wheelchair and his computer's out, and I find out that his housekeeper came over, unplugged the computer to hook up a vacuum, and then didn't plug it back in. And then I drove an hour to the guy's house. So over and over again, I wasn't charging for that kind of stuff at all. Because I can't do that. I just can't do that to people. And as well as I do, if you're running a business, you can't be that personal with people and expect it to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's at some point, it's a problem. Yeah. So I couldn't hire anybody. And unfortunately, my client base kept getting older and older because nowadays everybody just throws all their tech in the trash and buys new ones. Nothing's repairable anymore. Yeah. So, I had to make a decision there, like watching my clientele pass away horrifically, very quickly, because they're all around the same age. And I thought, okay, well, I've got to do something else. We were right in the middle of COVID. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start this YouTube channel that I kind of been thinking about. And I just went all in. And that was it. I just went full time immediately. And since I've got a business background, this YouTube channel was a business from the first second. It's always been run that way. So I've honestly never really had a serious problem growing the channel. It's always been watching a whole lot of Nick Nimmin and Nate Black and Think Media and getting tips and listening to stuff and seeing what works and modifying things and, doing projections and everything else. Cause I had 10-year projections for the YouTube channel before I uploaded a video. So I've managed to keep pretty close to that.
I resonate a lot with that because I grew up watching a lot of those same creators. And I say grew up because I've been doing this all throughout my 20s, and it's interesting to think about Nick Nimmin, for example. He just was awesome. He's so cool, and he's so genuine too. You see him on the videos, and he's the same way in real life too. And it's funny because I paid for one of the Think Media courses back in the day, and that helped a lot. But nowadays, you could just read YouTube secrets and get pretty much 90% of the same information. But taking that same information and applying it. One thing I wanted to ask you, Joe, is how much in your brain is business focused versus content focused? Are you 50-50? Are you more 80-20? How do you think?
Well, this is my full-time job, and my computer company I sunsetted in order to do this too. So it's at least 75% business, because whether we like it or not, if you want to be full-time, it's your job. So I've got to do what's right for the channel. It doesn't mean I have to just sell out or anything like that. I mean, there's certain things I won't do that I've never wanted to do, taking sponsorships from companies that promoting a product that I've never used or something, those kinds of things start getting really sketchy because to me, it's like for instance, I got a deal with Samsung and I've owned their refrigerators for years now. So I was able to make I had a good educated opinion of them already. And then when they asked me to work with them, it was easy because I'm not tempted to say something that isn't true. You know what I mean?
I definitely do. And it's interesting too, because you're definitely a big nerd like me, and I appreciate that. And I think it's why we're resonating so well. It's interesting because as a businessman at heart myself, I definitely see content as a business, and you have to if you want to be successful in the long run. But there's also the creative aspect behind it too. Is there anything in particular that you felt very creatively driven to make that wasn't necessarily monetarily based?
Well, the good thing is that for whatever reason, I don't exactly know why, I always know, probably with a 95% accuracy, I'd say, I know what's going to work on my channel and what's not. I could tell you how many views I'm going to get in the first month or year on any video that I make before I don't research them or anything. I already know. Like I know what's going to be more of like kind of a viral-ish kind of thing. And, for the most part, like all of the how-to stuff, like how to clean a stainless steel pan or something like that, that is like a service because I know people struggle with that kind of thing. That's not really, I'm not making that stuff because I'll make money on it. I'm making that stuff because I know it helps people out. Same thing with the review content. I mean, certain stuff I can't review because I know it's not going to fly and it's not worth my time. But the stuff that I do, I always come at it from the angle of how would I feel if I'm sitting in the store and I want to buy something and I don't have a lot of money to spend on stuff and everybody I look at online is just kind of toting the line. You know what I mean? So if I've always kind of come at it from that standpoint. I do a little bit of creative stuff in some videos and play around with it and just have more fun, but I always have fun doing them.
Yeah.
But
you enjoy what you do.
I mean, the recipe videos are fun. And I'll throw humor and stuff into them more so than you see in most cooking channels. Like you don't typically see a F-bomb in a review video for a pressure cooker, but they end up in there sometimes. So, it's fun.
This piece of shit. It's funny because as a viewer myself, I have a lot of channels and like trying to find like, let's say headphones. I got these headphones one day because I was at Walmart. I came there for a specific product. It was the Walmart on brand headphones because I got the cheap $15 ones before. They've lasted me 2 years. They sound decent. They're not the most comfortable, but they're not uncomfortable. Like they're a surprisingly good product for the price. I wanted to upgrade and I only had about $50 to spend. And I was like, okay, let me get the next step up from the on brand since they did so well before. But I wasn't too convinced by the product. It didn't seem like that big of a jump. It was still micro USB, which I definitely don't want to use. I want USB-C as much as possible, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there like watching reviews about these Walmart headphones. And I keep trying to figure out, should I buy them? Should I not? And then I look at the clearance little rack and they had some Skull Candy headphones, like hidden away, the Skull Candy player ones that I got right here. And they're wireless too. They're way better quality, way more comfortable, and they were $52. And I was sitting there watching reviews about it. And I'm like, in that moment, I'm like, I'm going to make a purchase. I came there specifically to buy those Walmart ones, but I was like, I would much rather get these higher quality ones for the same price. But like in that moment, if I was watching a video and the person was just talking about the product and shelling it out, you can just tell when they're being fake about it. So I appreciate someone like you who's doing things genuinely.
Yeah, it's the reason I don't have a tech channel because like I would never be the guy telling you to buy a GTX 49, whatever, because to me, it's like, okay, you're saying that you're going to get 3 more frames per second for double the price.
Yeah.
Like, how about you don't overclock your system? And it works still running fine.
A system from 2017. Well, actually, I bought a new computer, but like I had to send it back, mini PC. And the PC I built right there from 10 years ago or whatever is still like going just strong. Did you build your main setup that you use?
Yeah. All the computers I have, I built myself. I've got my server back in the house. That is probably 15 years old. It just keeps getting continually upgraded. But my main desktop in the house, I do my editing. That's just a couple of years old. That's got a 4060 in it, just because I'll play one. I used to play a little bit some games on it, but that ended real quick because there's no time. I don't have any time to do it, because I like the RPGs and stuff, and it's just if you can't sit there for hours, it's not feasible to get in there. And then the computer here in the studio is a little bit newer than that. Yeah, even the studio here, this is a tough shed. if you know
Oh,
what
wow.
that is. It's just
I think I've seen it
shed
before,
out in the back of my property.
Yeah. I really like the idea of having like a tiny home, and I keep seeing a lot of people turn those basically same units into offices and workspaces and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, I'd recommend that for anybody who's really serious about content creation. It's just doing it, at least for me, doing it in your house is just, well, in my case, it's a kitchen. So I can't just be having, stage lighting hanging in my kitchen all the time and streaming equipment and everything else. I did that for about a year and my wife was going to kill me. So I had to change that. But this is, everything's set up. I got all my noise cancellation and everything in here.
And it looks great
acoustic
too.
paneling. Yeah, it's all perfect for recording. So when I come out here, it takes me 30 seconds to get ready to record. And it's always the same environment. So when you do your audio editing, I just have a script set up to edit my audio. And then it just comes out fine with all the right levels and everything without having.
And I feel like this is the kind of stuff that people would want to see because, you have your own setup. And I was talking with the last person on this show too about like not having any barriers to starting to make a video and actually getting it done. And if you have to set up your equipment every time, you have to set up your space, then you're not going to get to making that content.
Yeah, that's 45 minutes every single time. And that means that's 45 minutes you might not do because, it's hard to be motivated a lot of times anyway. So if you have that excuse, then it's not good. When you put down a whole bunch of money on building the studio though, you just see those dollar signs out there. You kind of
you have to make it up. You have to make it up for the cost. I mean, before we get to the questions here too, I am curious, what RPGs were you playing?
I was playing Path of Exile 2.
Okay.
That's really all I played. I was playing Diablo 4 and it's just too
grindy.
You know what I mean? It's to the point where you just walk around hitting a bunch of buttons and everything dies. It's not fun to me. Yeah. I like Path of Exile because you actually have to,
think.
You got to be a little bit more methodical about what you're doing. You can't just run through the maps,
Yeah. I grew up on Diablo 2, so I feel you on that.
Yeah, Diablo 2 is a better game than Diablo 4.
Oh, yeah.
Much better game. Just in general, it's just better.
Yeah. I'm really excited for Octopath Traveler 0, a different kind of RPG, but those Octopath games have been just phenomenal.
I watched Penguin go through Dispatch the other day. I thought that was pretty cool. That was almost just like watching a cartoon or something. It was great. I mean, I'll sit there, just want to watch the cutscenes. I don't even care about the little mini games or anything.
I keep seeing clips of Dispatch on like YouTube Shorts and TikTok. Do you ever think you'll make like a gaming channel too, or just kind of stick to just the more educational cooking reviews?
Well, you figure I've got the YouTube channel, my X account, 2 different Instagrams. I've got the LinkedIn. I've got I got so much stuff going on. Nextdoor.
Yeah.
I've got to maintain all that stuff. And most of it really is just there to support the YouTube channel anyway, because that's really where I'm monetized. So basically all that other stuff gets reposts of shorts and stuff like that, because I just don't have the time to deal with that, because I was for a while. And then I was kind of feeling myself neglecting the YouTube channel a little bit.
Yeah.
And just staying on top of that is not easy. Staying on top of community posts and comments, and my upload schedule is pretty daunting. That, and I'm adding in live streams back into it again after 3 years.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I stopped live streaming when I moved out here, and then I built this studio specifically for that. There's 9 cameras in here.
Wow.
But I've never used them. Yeah, because I just haven't had time, because I'm on Starlink in here right now, and the upload speed is well, you know all about that. It's sketchy enough to where it's fast and then slow and then fast for the uploads that I worry about buffering and stuff, so I never bother doing it. But they're running fiber out right now in front of the house. So once my fiber is here, then I'll start those streams up again. So probably in December sometime.
Bi-weekly? I was almost considering getting T-Mobile internet as like a backup, because I have fiber now, or at the time I was trying to get fiber. I was having a really hard time getting the internet access here, and I was thinking about using T-Mobile as like a backup internet and just having 2 sources, and that way if someone else was using the internet or something like that, or if the internet was getting kind of shoddy about the connection, because fiber is great, but sometimes if you have like a system outage in your area, it can be a big deal, and that happens somewhat often.
Yeah, I'll keep my Starlink active, so that's a very, very good backup to have, because it's serviceable, it's good, all the equipment's already there, and all I gotta do is fire it back up, and I'll spend the extra $120 a month to keep that service active.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as running over and, that, and it's not going to be susceptible to like a fiber, cut someplace. Because they're just running the fiber on the power poles here in this little town that I'm in. It's very susceptible to weather and lightning strikes and stuff like that.
So getting into some of the questions here, how was your health a motivating factor into making content?
The health? Well, that's a good story. It's kind of a long story though. So when I was working in the restaurants, obviously I was probably gaining weight, gaining over a long period of time, because it doesn't really matter how fast you move when you're working in a restaurant. You're always around food, and you're always grazing on stuff, and that's just how it is. It's like the same thing where you eat standing up and you shove food down your throat because there's no time otherwise. And then you end up eating really late at the end of your shift on top of that and then going to bed. I ended up getting up to about 260 pounds. And that was actually in the restaurant, and the computer company exasperated it because once I was full-time fixing people's computers, then I wasn't moving around as much. So the weight gain became an issue. So I was actually pre-diabetic when I was 40. So it was a problem. I had a problem. I had a big double chin going on and everything. It's pretty bad. So then I just started riding a bike. One day just looked in the mirror and was like, okay, screw this. And I just started riding a bike every day. And that riding the bike every day became riding the bike every day for like much longer and longer and longer, just because I'm super vain. So for me, the look of the double chin and the big belly was a bigger motivator for me than being healthy.
I can feel that.
The healthy part came after. So then after I was riding the bike for a few years, then I got into bicycle racing, and I got onto a team. And then a buddy of mine who runs the team named Louis, his name's Louis Amelburo. He's probably the best amateur cyclist in the Southwestern United States. I mean, knowing him it was just dumb luck that he happened to live in Vegas. And he started training me, and I was racing with him. And we were at Olive Garden one day eating, because we had like salmon and vegetables all the time. And I was watching him pour this salad dressing onto his salad. And he's super sensitive about calories. And I was just looking at it and I go, you do know you just put 300 calories worth of dressing on your salad, right? And he was like, no. So I just showed him the information about it, and he was flabbergasted. So I thought, you know what, maybe I'll make some salad dressing for you. So I just came up with like a low calorie, 0 calorie version of some salad dressing. Decided to call the company Joe's Phenomenal, which is where the name of the company comes from, because my wife uses that word constantly.
Really?
She always says phenomenal. Everything's phenomenal. So that's where the name of the company came from. And that's what Joe's Phenomenal originally was. So I gave him the salad dressing, and he thought it was the best thing he ever had, and said,
you thought it was phenomenal?
He said, yeah, he said, you got to sell this. Yeah. So I started bottling it and selling the salad dressing. And then when I started the YouTube channel, initially, that's what it was going to be. It's like, ooh, this is going to be a great way to sell salad dressing, which turned out to be a horrible way to sell salad dressing, because nobody was going to watch. So I did like a right angle pivot almost immediately when I started the YouTube channel, because I saw that and I was like, oh no.
But you were paying attention. Like, there's a lot of people who don't see that. So I just want to clarify, like, that was good that you saw that and you made that pivot.
Well, I figured there were some other things involved too, like the fact that I wasn't using a chemical preservative. That made it very difficult to get that dressing in the grocery stores, because they all kind of want it. And then you run into issues with the FDA as far as that traveling over state lines if it contains lemon juice or vinegar, which are both natural preservatives, and they're what I use in it. So now I suddenly got limited, and I was thinking, okay, well, how much is it going to cost me because Ken's salad dressing is in Vegas. Their factory is here. So I could have went to them, but the cost to do it would have been so much and I would have had to change the formulation to something I don't believe in. So instead, I just kept it really small and just pivoted the YouTube channel into making more like healthy content. Like even like 95% of the food that I make on the channel it's either going to be no sugar, low sugar, or it's going to be low fat and like some kind of sugar alternative, like monk fruit sweetener or allulose or something like that. Anything to keep people from just eating buckets of sugar, because that's what I did for my entire life. And then I had to struggle in order to get rid of it. It took me 8 years to lose this weight.
Yeah. So you were at 260, and you're a bit taller than me. What do you weigh now?
Well, when I was my race weight was 168, but then I had to give up bicycle racing, which is like my passion, to run the YouTube channel. So there were some sacrifices.
Yeah.
Like, there was no more racing. There was
Is there no way to find
more,
balance?
no,
No.
because there's only so much time in the day. And to race, we're talking about 3 or 4 day trips out of town.
Wow.
Plus the training is very, very daunting. I mean, I still get out on the bike about 2 hours a day. Like that's what I was doing this morning. And then I hit the weights usually later in the day whenever your body recovers from the cardio. Otherwise you
There's a sheer amount of
erode
cardio,
all
yeah.
your muscle.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you just have to think about what is the most important thing. I mean, probably without the support of my wife, no way the channel works. No way. Because that's asking a lot. I mean, you as a content creator, you know the time commitment. So now if you're married to somebody and you say, hey, so we're starting this YouTube channel. I'm not going to make any money for several years. And by the way, I'm not going to be coming to bed until 4 or 5 in the morning ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
And I won't see you because I'll be in the office or I'll be recording or something. But I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Yes. My wife used to be a competition bodybuilder. And before that, she was a competition. She competed on horseback. So she's always been a competitor. And then she was a runner before that.
So she's as motivated as you are in her own way. Yeah.
So finding her was almost like this perfect fit because she already understood what it is to have to commit fully to something like that. So, I mean, yeah, she's a godsend. I mean, without her, I would have ended up divorced because once I got all in on YouTube, there's no going back because I don't understand 50%. I can't do it. Yeah. I've got to be way, way into it fully or I can't do it at all. It just doesn't work right for me.
A little bit of a strange tangent, but I'm curious, have you seen much about like Alex Hormozi and Layla Hormozi and their dynamic?
A little bit, but not, I don't really follow them very much though, because I don't follow a lot of the other creators. In fact, who do I really even watch at all? It's mostly like Nick and, and I've been trying to get Nate Black to start posting again.
Yeah, I love him. It was funny because at the Westin we were talking about before the call, I saw him through the window, like behind one of the poles. I was outside talking to a group, and I look over and I do like a double take because I realized, I guess Nate. I couldn't remember his last name for the life of me in that moment. But then I was like, oh yeah, Nate Black, and I was able to go say hi to him afterwards, and that was just like, such a great moment. I was so genuinely excited that he immediately got the energy too. Like he started smiling and talking. We chatted for a little bit, purely because I was just so excited to see him.
Yeah. I was doing a meetup on actually the day before the convention actually started. And it was about how I became a full-time YouTuber in 4 years. And that was basically because I wanted to share everything that I did with everybody.
Shared here too.
So they would, in order to become full-time and the sacrifices that I had to make, and maybe it might help somebody else kind of get their path going. Nate just walked up there. He just happened to walk up like right at the end to see what was going on. And then I grabbed him and gave him a big hug and introduced him. I don't think he remembered me because I had met him last year at Bit Summit. And then he just seemed like kind of like surprised. And then I talked to him. I told him, hey, dude, I'm taking you to dinner. And I took him to dinner, bought him dinner over at Meza Mezcal and just told him how much he doesn't understand, how much he helps people that he'll never know because he can't see them on what they're doing on the other side of the camera. But it's like, I told him when you stop posting, man, you have no idea. You saved a lot of people's livelihoods. It's like, I can never repay you for what you've done for me. And I think I kind of got him thinking a little bit and inspired to make some more videos and stuff. And hopefully he's made 3 since then. So hopefully he keeps doing it because he's got so much information to share and he's such a great guy.
Yeah, agreed. Before moving on, I brought up the Hormozis because of just like their relationship dynamic. They bring up how to be successful content creator and business people while having a successful relationship together and communication, stuff like that. But people like Hormozis, Gary Vee, Nate Black, all these people you learn from as a content creator. And then hopefully shows like this where you can learn from people's stories like Joe's here. And going into that too, what do you think is best for someone starting out? Whether they're talking about food or reviews or just any kind of random topic, what do you think is the best thing for them to do when they first get started?
The first thing is you can't listen to people. Remember, this is just my opinion. You can't listen to people that tell you that you can't be artistic and have a business at the same time. That to me is insane. It's like, yes, you can run a business. That's like saying you can't have fun being in business. That's not right. Number one, if you're going to make money, if you ever want to make money doing something, it's a business. I don't care if it's $1. So you have to come out with the right mindset. You have to start the correct way. Otherwise, you're going to spend time fixing problems you created before you get back to zero, right? So first thing was, if you're going to incorporate, you don't really have to set up an LLC or anything like that right at the beginning, because that's probably something you can do down the road. But you have to have the mindset as get all your ducks in a row, at least get all of your social media handles like reserved. If you're going to get like an X account and Instagram, you don't have to post to them right away, but at least make sure that your channel name isn't taken. Yeah. Stick a flag in it, get all your channel names set up. So, you're not going to have to maybe try to purchase somebody's channel name off of them or something.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times if you get popular, like if Mr. Beast got really popular and didn't buy his name on Instagram and X and wherever, he would have been screwed, because somebody would have bought it and then wanted to charge him 7 digits for it or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, that includes getting your channel page set up properly, figuring out what your upload schedule is going to be, trying to come up with a general niche of what you want to do with your channel, which is going to adjust over the first maybe 100 videos or so. You have your idea of what you want to do, but you don't know if what you want to do is going to work. So you have to be ready to adjust, and you have to be open to taking criticism from people. You really do. I changed so much stuff watching Nick, and you go into his live streams and you see the same people asking the same questions over and over again, and they don't change it. They ask the question, he tells them the answer, which is usually a very obvious answer, and they don't do anything about it because they don't want to, or it's too hard, or whatever. But I spent a lot of my time learning stuff too. I do have a tech background, so for me to learn how to use Premiere wasn't that hard. Yeah. But still, if you don't know, there's plenty of videos on YouTube to learn how to do that too. Yeah. I don't know anything about construction, but I built this studio. I bought the Tough Shed, and I did this drywall and the ceiling and the paint and the backsplash back there and all these appliances.
Sweat and tears.
No, I did all that. I made videos about it for it on the channel too, even though I knew that was not going to get viewed at all. It might even confuse YouTube's algorithm a little bit, like sending me DIY people. But at that point, I didn't care, because I was thinking years and years and years into the future, if the channel really, really blows up, there would be people that would say, hey, that's a kind of cool kitchen. Here's some videos about how they did that. That'd be kind of neat to see.
Yeah.
That, and I can kind of go back and look at them myself too. Like,
exactly.
I can't believe I did all that. It's fun.
First off, even though your channel is very niche specific, it's very much like reviews and cooking and food, it is still your personal brand. It's still you as the focus. Like I just like it, in the deep down core of it. And so someone coming to your channel is going to necessarily subscribe because of you, because you drop the F-bombs every once in a while, the pressure cooker videos, right? Because you have that vibrancy and like the knowledge too. Also, like I love the way you talked about the historical context too. Yes, it'll mess up the algorithm a little bit, and I do air quotes because it is doing that, but I'd rather have future maybe family members who are curious. Like I do a monthly vlog, like here's what's going on in my life professionally and personally. Cool. People who normally watch my channel aren't going to care, but maybe my family will, maybe my kids down the line, something like that.
Yeah, you could make all kinds of different content if you want to, but I would say that 75% of your content needs to be on point. And then you can have these little videos that you do once in a while that kind of aren't, you know what I mean? But you don't have to be upset if it doesn't do well.
Yeah.
So what? At the end of the day, honestly, so what? And when I do reviews let's say I did a review for a Ninja air fryer, the unboxing will do good. The review will do good. But I'll also do a whole bunch of recipe videos for it, because I just want to teach people how to use the damn thing, right? Because those aren't going to do that well. They'll do okay. I'll make a few bucks on them. I don't care. Because I'm thinking now more like, why don't we help some people out, and maybe they'll make something that they didn't think about making. It'd be kind of fun. And it's Evergreen stuff too, by the way. So,
yeah. We should definitely mention too, like a lot of the stuff in your channel is Evergreen. And on top of that too, every video you make is a doorway to your content ecosystem. Even if it's not going to do super well on its own, it's still working for you, not to mention the affiliate links. And on top of that, you could always make like a compilation down the line, like here's all the air fryer videos for this brand, or here's all of this. And then make a playlist, make a compilation video, make clips out of it, whatever it may be. You could take that same content you made earlier and repurpose it.
But yeah, I've got endless things that I can do. In fact, I've got
so many tasks.
Pretty much all my content's being worked on all the way through the end of the year. I mean, coming up with ideas for videos and stuff, it's being in this space, it's not difficult. I mean, I've never had a problem figuring out what I'm going to do, because if I, for whatever reason, there's not new products that I want to review or I want to talk about or want to make, I can always go back and do a comparison between different products of the same type. I can always go back and do more recipe videos for products of a certain type. I can go work on some seasonal stuff if I want to that might not be relevant now, but will be in a few months. Like, there's no reason you can't make Thanksgiving content in July.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Come October, people are going to make it. And there's also, who said that nobody roasts a turkey at any other time of the year? They do,
Well, and it's even just like making like a quick vlog too. Like I said, like just something like, hey, here's a cool little thing that I'm working on recently, or here's a cool recipe that I'm toying with. And it's literally just experimental content. Who cares if it does well or not? It might actually blow up because people like the way you're being more freeform with it. There's so many options to content creation as long as you just keep going. That's really what matters. And you have so many options too, especially with your niche.
My favorite ones are the April Fool's Day content. I love doing it because people freak out. And they don't get tons of views, but like last year I did a tuna fish ice cream thing that I don't say anything about it being an April Fool's Day video ever. It's like not until like the last second. So I made this tuna fish ice cream and made it in a Ninja Creamy.
Yeah. I figured it had to be the Ninja. It's funny because do you ever watch the amount of tech tip April Fool's videos?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I was really happy to see his keynote at VidSummit. It's just funny though, because people don't do enough with the holidays, stuff like that. Especially for you, I feel like it makes sense, like Thanksgiving and Christmas. But even the April Fools, like, just I didn't think about that with the channel, but that makes so much sense too, especially given the personality. Yeah,
it's fun just to see people's reaction. Like you had me until you mixed that tuna into the thing.
I wonder how did you taste it?
It was awful. It was awful. Yeah, I did taste it. My wife was telling me, she goes, you didn't actually have to actually taste it. You could have just pretended to. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That was
full send.
That's a very good point. Yeah, good point. But you get the real reaction.
Yeah,
it's very hard to fake that reaction.
Considering it's tuna, I don't know how hard it would be, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, tuna, sugar, and milk, they just don't mix.
Yeah. Pivoting a little bit, because you did mention Premiere earlier, and one of the favorite things I'd love to ask on this channel is like, what tools do you use for content creation and repurposing? And it could be hardware or software, because we were learning about hardware earlier too.
Okay. Well, I mean, the hardware is, I'm using the GTX 4060. I've got a Ryzen 9 chip and 64 gigs of RAM in my main machine. Probably should be 128 gig, but 64 is fine. I use Adobe Premiere Pro, but I have an older version of it before they required you to. Yeah, so it's old. So it was before you had to be on cloud.
Yeah, that's smart.
So that I'm actually transitioning that slowly towards DaVinci Resolve. And now that DaVinci's got all the new AI tools built into the newest version, I can now do the things that I couldn't do before with it that were keeping me on Adobe, which is basically Adobe Premiere plus Adobe Audition. I use Audition to do all my audio editing, and I also use it to take my music and stretch it and get the music to the right length, and the AI will kind of fill in the blanks for you. So you're not cutting the music up. You just tell it what length you want, and it fixes it. Well, DaVinci does that now, and it has all of the AI to remove like the ums and ahs and all the empty spaces and stuff. So, I mean, that's the big time saver.
I was going to mention Firecut too. Like that, I don't know. I didn't know
Firecut's
DaVinci had that built in.
Firecut's good too. But DaVinci's got that, and remember, they've got their free version, and the one with the AI is their studio version, which is a one-time $295 charge. That's it. And then you get it updated until the end of time. And you get all of their plugins and everything else. Really is, I mean, Blackmagic Design is a great company. I mean, I have their ATEM switchers and stuff in here. Like right now, I've got two monitors in front of me, two 32-inch monitors hanging off the back of my island right here, plus a 8-port mini Extreme sitting here, hooked to the computer. And then
do you use a Stream Deck at all too, or just the DaVinci stuff?
Yeah, I do. See?
Didn't see that coming. But it's funny because like I figured, with all those cameras, I was like, he has to have something along those lines.
Oh yeah, see, I got multiple camera angles here for everything else going on.
Ooh.
There, yeah, you can see all the equipment there.
You got the Nuka-Cola from Fallout. I see you too. Big nerd.
Yeah,
Salute to you, sir.
I had the Nuka-Cola poster before I built the studio, just because I had to have some gaming aspect in there, something, because I'm like the original gamer. I was gaming when it wasn't cool. You know, teenager sitting in my room, everybody was outside playing sports. And then I got older, and now I'm the one outside doing sports, and everybody's inside gaming.
So
yeah, it's like, you know.
Which is the best Fallout game?
There is one right answer. Original. I like the original.
No, that's fair. You're older than me. That makes sense.
And, you know, it's not technologically as advanced as some of the other ones, but the story is, that original story is just so much more. You know, it's like season 1 of The Boys.
Yeah.
You know,
actually
it's hard to beat the first thing before they start screwing around and messing it up.
I will say I'm part of the generation that like adores New Vegas.
I was gonna say New Vegas also, but I was thinking, I wasn't sure if it was because it was New Vegas and I'm from Vegas, or if it was just that was the best game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some personal stuff in there too, so I didn't want to say.
No, I agree. I think New Vegas is the best, but obviously the first one is also really great too, so I can understand why you said that as well. And it's funny, when I went to Vegas for the first time last year, I listened to Ain't That a Kick in the Head, because that's like just what my brain thinks of with Vegas now because of New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have to get you.
That's a Sinatra song, isn't it? Originally.
Dean Martin.
That's there you go.
But after this call, I'm going to have you judge my Viva Las Vegas playlist.
Okay.
I'm curious about it now.
I'll do that.
So one thing I wanted to ask, and it's kind of like a weird question, but I figured maybe you would have a good answer for it. I love the idea of meal prepping. I've taught fitness for over a decade, and I've been trying to like expedite that journey when it comes to nutrition too. So how can like content creators create meals for themselves ahead of time? Because you talked about like being so busy and being able to like actually eat healthily. So I was curious what your thoughts were on that.
Well, if you're somebody like me, it's easy because
it's right there.
I'm in here recording. How am I going to not make something? That, and I'm making food for the freaking channel. What am I going to throw it in the trash?
Well, what about for someone like me who's not cooking for the camera?
I would say you'd use the same strategy that you probably use for content creation, like with batch recording. Like you make a bunch of food for several days, like a whole bunch of chicken breast or something. A pressure cooker is a really good, it's your friend, either that or a slow cooker, because you can make some slow cooked chicken breasts with some vegetables and stuff in there. And then put a little bit of rice then put a little bit of rice on the side or something in a rice cooker, and make enough to where you've got enough food for several days. And then Tupperware that stuff, put it in your fridge, and you have meals prepped, 3 meals a day for 3 or 4 days at a time. You're not taking time out to run to the store to go buy some food. That's part of the problem. Yeah. We as content creators will tend to buy a bunch of crap food because you don't got time to prepare it. And then you're stuck doing fast food and stuff that you really shouldn't be eating. And especially since we're not moving around as much too, you got to be real careful with what you put in your mouth. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing if like my wife used to be a bodybuilder. So I did her meal prep. And that was exactly because she'd have a daily thing of what has to be each meal during the day leading up to shows and everything else. So I got really used to doing that. I would have like 7 days worth of food for all 3 meals of the day already specced out with, already measured and getting all the macros right for her and everything else. So all she has to do is grab it and go.
I'm not doing any performances. I definitely am trying to bodybuild more and try to gain muscle. And so actually that's one reason why I was trying to ask is, yes, I was asking for the audience, but I was also asking for myself too.
Well, if you're, depends also on, it kind of depends on what you're trying to do. You got to get enough protein, number one. I would say a gram of protein per day per pound of body weight is minimum. So with me being right now, I'm sitting at about 175 pounds. So I cannot function if I don't get 175 grams of protein a day. And some people think that's a myth, but if I'm under that and I try to go out on the bike the next day, no. Your body does not recover. It does not recover the same way. It's a very, very stark difference. If you're trying to build muscle, like a lot of it, then you need to crank that up. But you also have to remember that the protein is adding calories too. So you better make sure you're doing the work. It's like people that take creatine. If they're not doing enough work, you just become like waterlogged and fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to use it. Yeah. Well, and
Yeah, you got to use it.
I've been trying to sit around like 1.5 grams for every body pound just because I'm trying to gain weight. But even then, I think this particular week I've been under consuming protein. But one thing I forgot, because we were talking about tools and we got distracted with Fallout, and you mentioned hardware tools and DaVinci Resolve too. But what software tools do you use, like OBS or like Mel Studio? What are you using to record? I just want to make sure we get back to that.
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay. Well, I'm recording. I just record directly off of a DSLR. I've got a Sony ZV-1 camera. I've got the Hollyland stuff right here, which is really the first time I've ever used it to be on anything, because so that's kind of good that it just kind of worked really quickly like that. But normally it's the Rode Wireless Goes here. And the main thing that I get lots of hate on my channel for is my hat being backwards like this. And that's because I've got my lav mic right here. It's right in the top of the hat. The wire runs down the back of my hat down to the receiver.
That's smart.
I mean, the transmitter. Because this is the perfect spot for a microphone. You're not being obscured by your chin or your nose or anything like this. Your head moves. It doesn't matter, because like right now, if I'm doing this, it probably changes how I sound. But if the mic is attached to your head, above your mouth, it doesn't affect that. And I don't wear it forward, because if I did, my stage lighting is going to shade my face. So, I mean, you know, people ask me about it, they give me a hard time. I just tell them that I'm in the middle of a midlife crisis, and, you know.
Why would someone give you a hard time about wearing a hat backwards? That's so weird.
I've gotten that comment at least 100 times.
At least they're engaging
like
with
usually it's harsh. It's not like, hey, how come you're wearing your hat back? It's not like that. It's usually, you are a blankety blank blank, and this and that and what. Yeah, that was the first comment I ever got on my channel. Just turn your hat around. You're not
not a dingus, whatever. No, that is insane.
Yeah, it was like a rude awakening. That's probably another thing you could tell the people that are just starting out, is you have to learn to grow a thick skin very quickly. Because I didn't have one, and I still really don't. Yeah, it bothers me when people are mean, but you have to. If you're going to be in a public space, you better grow a thick skin, and you also better learn how to not respond to that, because that's how you get in trouble. You start attacking people back, and you see Hollywood people do it all the time. They start attacking people over their politics or whatever. It's just, well, no, that's a sure way to make 50% of the people are going to hate you if you do anything like that. You know what I mean?
I try to delete hate comments whenever I come across them. If someone's leaving like a negative feedback thing, that's a different story. Or if someone's like just leaving a negative comment, like, oh, I didn't like this, or you took too long to get started, which is like feedback still too. But like, even if it wasn't like feedback, it's just negative, I will usually leave it. I might reply to it or something like that. But if someone's just being hateful for no reason, I'm just like, yeah, delete. Block button's right there.
I just hide the user.
Yeah.
Don't delete the comment, hide the user, because they don't know they're being hidden, and they can still post comments on your channel, but nobody sees it.
That's smart.
So it's just like you can just imagine a guy in a straitjacket in a rubber room
I don't like
yelling at the wall. Yeah, and that's the guy after that. And I just think that's hilarious, because he's thinking he's getting like, oh yeah, I hadn't heard anything from you for months now.
That's funny. I pulled this off because the way you were describing the microphone on your hat, I thought was really interesting, because you're finding a creative way to solve a problem in your particular situation. But someone might be listening to this and getting a lot from that. Like, they can come up with a new idea because of that. And actually, I'm having issues with my mic, for example. Like, the arm likes to fall down a lot. This microphone, if you mess with the cable too much, it's like shuts off and messes up the recording. And so I'm like, I'm going to switch this out. I got a different mic over there. I'm going to switch it to. But I thought about using like this shotgun mic and just popping it up here out of frame. That way I don't have any more mic obscuring me anymore. And like, I don't know how well this will work. It's a good microphone, but like, just I'm thinking outside the box, just having it out of the way, because see people talk like some fancy Shure mics in the past.
I noticed that really, really expensive mics, I don't really know that they're that much better, because you can go into Audacity and play with the settings and stuff. Like, if you watch any of my videos, that doesn't sound like I used a lavalier mic on any of that. There's a lot of low end and stuff, because I've manipulated the audio to make it sound better. I've always wanted to use like a shotgun mic or something, but I move around too much, and I'm cooking back there and walking around, and there's no way. I have to be mobile. So doing something like that would be, I'd have to be moving the microphone every time I change locations, it's not really practical. But they do sound beautiful right out of the box, especially those the Rode ones. I really like those. The Sennheiser ones I like a lot too.
I think this is a competitor to Rode, the Deity one. I actually got it from Think Media's conference last year.
Yeah, those Deities are cool. I like them.
So, fun fact, I won this at Grow with Video Live last year, Think Media's conference. They had a networking event, and I went to it, and basically it was a bingo. And if you filled out the bingo card first, you got to pull something out of the box and basically get a choice of a prize. And I was one of the first 3 people to win.
Was that the one in Vegas?
Yeah.
I think they do them all in Vegas, yeah.
Well, it's funny because it literally was a networking bingo. So you had to find someone who started their channel this year, or find somebody who hasn't started their channel yet, or find somebody in the fitness niche or something like that. And you had to just go around and fill out the entire chart to get all the prizes. And I was just like, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. Last year at Vid Summit, they gave away prizes for being on the leaderboard for the Wova app.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't say anything about it this year. But, not that really matters all that much, because my engagement is just one of those, I just like to talk to people. Yeah. So I had all these points. Everybody thought I was padding the leaderboard. It was like, no, not really. I'm just talking to people.
It made me kind of mad because at Podcast Movement, on the badges themselves, you had a QR code that matched your QR code from the Swap Card app, which was like their Hoova app. And basically, when you met somebody, everyone got instinctively used to just scanning each other's badges before you even get started in a conversation, essentially. And I felt like VidSummit should have done that too, because in the Hoova app, you had a QR code and a QR code scanner. And it's like no one was using it.
Yeah, but I think the part of the problem was nobody was really using the Wova app, though. It was, I knew about it. Yeah. And so I went right in there. But people that didn't use that app missed out on an awful lot of stuff. For
all the networking events.
Basically. Yeah. How are you even there? I don't understand how you're there. And that means you came there and you just saw the speakers and then you milled around.
Yeah.
Just kind of wandering. And then those are the people that aren't going to have a good experience, and maybe they won't come back. Yeah. And they might be the people that needed the help the most, which is the sad part. My focus this year wasn't really even to try to do anything for me. I was going there trying to find people that were struggling so I could try to help them get motivated and, give them a few pointers that maybe something that I did that they didn't hear somewhere that might just get that one little piece of information that might get them to just get over the hump.
Yeah.
And that's really, at this point, that's my favorite part, is helping somebody else.
Well,
it's like you pay it forward, I've done pretty well with YouTube, and I want to help other people do that too.
I just wanted to mention too, I've always been a businessman at heart, but I've needed to be more business focused with my content brand, and talking to you today has gotten me more motivated to focus on the business aspect of things.
Oh, well, good. Once you've got that under wraps, it's not that big a deal. It ends up just becoming a thing, and it doesn't end up taking up any more of your time, which is a good part. Just like I get countless of these sponsorship kind of offers where they want to send you product and everything, which I used to do. At the very beginning, I would get some of that stuff, but now the first thing I do is I just look up whatever thing they're talking about, and I just decide, well, is that worth my time? No, if it's something that's valued at around $500 or $600, then I'm like, okay, well, am I willing to spend 10 hours making a video for $500 or $600?
You gotta think about times, money.
Yeah, because you have to look at it that way, because somebody says, oh, we got some silicone spoons. Here you go. Did you make a video for us? We'll send you the spoons for free. Like, wow, okay, you're gonna send me, so you're gonna pay me $10 for me to make a video that no one's gonna watch because nobody cares about that, because they're just gonna go down to Walmart and buy a couple of them, and they're doing the same thing. It's not.
Maybe you could make a short instead.
You have to. You can. But usually they want like a bigger integration, and it's just one of those things where I don't want to crowd my channel up with a whole bunch of crap. That at some point you also have to look at respecting your audience too. If you keep putting up stuff that nobody's going to care about, then eventually they're going to just start thinking that that's all you want to do. So you gotta be a little bit selective, at least.
I completely agree. My brain did think though, would it be a good idea? Maybe not time wise, but maybe in a second channel for lesser tiered products, and the quality of the video would be less, but you could just be upfront about that to your audience and to the people who are trying to send you the products. Hey, I'm not going to put as many hours. I'm not going to do 10 hours for this video, but maybe 4 or 5. And I don't know, see if you can crank out more that way. Obviously you're too busy for it right now, but it's just an idea.
Well, you could, but that would be a pretty good idea, but I wouldn't really consider doing that until I get to the point where I've got employees. Like if I've got an editor working for me or something, then that frees up the time. Because I'll never have a faster upload schedule than I do right now on Joe's Phenomenal channel. It's, 2 longs a week, a short on Sundays, lives every other Wednesday. It doesn't ever need to be a faster pace than that. So a second channel, possibly, and to do something else with it. And then, something related, obviously. But then, because you'd have a lot more free time if you got somebody editing all your video for you, right? That's like six of my 8 hours on each video is sitting there in front of the screen screwing around with the timeline, Oh,
I'm still editing the video interview I did on Tuesday, and I had one interview yesterday, and then I'll have this one, and I'm like, I got to get these all done within the next week. But one thing I wanted to mention, that we were talking about Hova app VidSummit. I know this is a different topic, but I wanted to mention it before I forgot. If anybody's going to VidSummit next year or watching this down the line, in the agenda app, there was one little section that you had to click in order to see the meetups. And 90% of the people I talked to at VidSummit did not know about that feature. And I was explaining it to everybody, and that's where all the meetups were. I kept stuck around my brain.
Yeah, the meetup should have had its own tab.
Yeah.
It should have had its own tab. You shouldn't have to dig into the comment area and then go into because to me, that's the most important part on that app. It needs to be very prominent. They have a section for the photos, which was fun, but it's not as important as the meetups.
Yeah.
So there could have been just like a meetup button right there next to it.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt that great conversation about the channels, but it's kept pinging me, and I was going to keep thinking about it until we moved on. So there was a lot of different stories you shared today, and one thing I like to ask is, can you share your favorite story that's happened to you as a content creator?
My favorite story as a content creator. Well, let's see. I could tell you the time I got recognized, because that's only happened once.
Okay.
That's only happened once. That's somebody that's running up to me because asking me if I was Joe's Phenomenal. I was just going to the store to drop off a cable modem for my mom, and at Cox Communications, but then they just ran up, and that funny thing is I only had about 3,000 subscribers at the time. So it's just weird that that would be the thing. Nobody ever mentions that out here now that I've got like a ton of people out here. But the most interesting story, honestly, I would have to say it was when I did the meetup at VidSummit this past year. I had 31 people show up, and it was and the interesting thing about it was it's not the people I thought were going to show up at all. And I'm not usually surprised with this kind of stuff, but I told all these people I was going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to check on your YouTube channels and see if you're doing these things that we're talking about, because you're asking for the help. And, I'm going to lean on you, because I did that last year too. And I just kept leaning on the same people over and over again. And I made them upload. Because I'd be in their comments for their other stuff. How come you haven't uploaded? Hey, where's your next video coming? Hey, you should do this. Hey. And they would do it. But eventually, it becomes evident that you're wasting your breath if they won't. But I had at least 3 people there that had over 100,000 followers on TikTok. And that gives you a whole nother appreciation for YouTube, because that's where the monetization is. They've got the best monetization deals going on. A lot of people don't like the splits, but the splits are not bad, considering the fact that they're giving you the platform to upload to, unlimited space for nothing. And they're doing all the promotion. I mean, you're not paying for promotion, but you're not, through Google's system, if you went out yourself and tried to get that kind of following without them, it ain't happening. So then, you look at TikTok and it's okay, well, you got to have over 10,000 followers. The video has to be over a minute, which I thought was crazy, because TikTok's entire ecosystem is swipe, swipe, swipe. So you're having to go against what works for TikTok in order to monetize TikTok. Getting somebody to stick around for a minute on a TikTok video is not easy. And those are the only those views are the only ones that get monetized. So it's hard. I mean, I have a couple of TikToks that are over that are good, but they're not related to what I'm doing, because showing somebody how to make some food really quickly to the point that you can't really follow the video to actually make it.
Yeah.
Because that's how fast the cuts have to be. I still can't get them to stick around, but I put up an NFL thing and then everybody watches it. So
one thing I've been trying to do is I can't probably do it with this one because it's over an hour, but some of the interviews that are less than an hour, I'll just crop the vertical, and I'm just dropping them in there and seeing if anybody watches them vertically on TikTok, because you can do 60 minutes on desktop, and it seems to be interesting. Like I'd rather just do the clips, and most people see the clips, but yeah, like no one sticks around for that long.
Yeah,
Even
it's tough. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with TikTok and Instagram for the YouTube channel's Instagram page, because I just started those right before Vid Summit, because I had some cool snazzy shirts made up that had all the social media on them, and I was going to put all those logos on there. So I figured, well, I better make sure I've got a presence that's being updated in all these places too. I mean, probably the worst one I think would be Threads, because I don't think anybody is on there.
It's surpassed X on users.
Threads did?
Yeah, and it's actually the one I probably enjoyed the most right now. I used to love TikTok, but after 2022, 2023, TikTok had really gone downhill in the way it felt vibe-wise, community-wise. Threads has now been the place where everyone's communicating and chatting and networking. It's really interesting. I mean, you might have to just like sit there for a while and let it find your people, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I guess I better work harder on that one then, I guess.
Yeah. It's just really funny you mentioned that, because like that's literally the platform that I've been like spending more time on. Like I'm opening it up more and more often now, and I'm actually opening up TikTok less and less. And I've been on it since 2018. I was on that when Musical.ly was like still a thing. So yeah, for context.
Well, I figured my TikTok and Instagram stuff's easy because they're, for the most part, they're rehashed shorts from YouTube.
Yeah, well, that's what you should do.
I just snip them down a little bit further to get it, just compress them a little bit more.
Why not just repost?
Well, because I do on the YouTube shorts, I'll have like the quick part where you just get to see all the ingredients super quick. For the TikToks, I cut that portion out. So it's just right from start. It's like showing stuff, because on the TikToks, that's where I was losing the people. It was taking too long to get through that portion. So I was watching those analytics they give you at the very big, for the first week or whatever. And the retention went up a lot higher by just getting into it. So to me, the TikTok audience isn't the audience that wants to learn how to do it. They're the audience that just wants to get a little bit of ASMR from watching the food, or, you know what I mean? That makes me hungry. I'm not going to make it though.
It's interesting.
It's like people that watch Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. They're not going to make the food.
You're not going to cook that food. You're just like laughing at Gordon Ramsay yelling at people.
You bloody twat. It's interesting too, because I've been posting every time I make a solo video, I throw it into Opus Clip to make clips. I do it for all the interviews too, right? I'm going to make 20, 30 clips out of this call. And I'm more of a shotgun approach. I'm not going to sit there and optimize it too much. I think you're a lot more of the sniper approach, where you're getting a lot more optimized, but with your content, it makes a lot more sense to be more like that. With my solo content, I'm tossing them into Opus, and I'm not getting as many clips, but I'm posting those across all these different platforms. I mean, not just Reels, TikTok, and Shorts. I'm also doing Pinterest and LinkedIn and Threads and Twitter and Mastodon and Blue Sky. And I'm very curious to see like what people are talking about on there, because some people really engage with videos even on those written post platforms, but then other people don't. And it really depends on the content. I feel like with you would grow really well on some of these platforms. I'm not sure which one would be best, but Pinterest, for example, might be really great for you.
Yeah, I'm going to start using Opus once I start getting back into lives again.
Yeah.
Because I think that works really good for clipping out portions of your live streams. And I mean, to me, that's like a perfect fit for it. I can't use Opus to clip my regular content for shorts right now, because I do a lot of heavy editing in my shorts right now, because all the shorts I put up are the food-based ones.
Yeah.
So I have to play around with them and I got to cut so many sections out of them to make them go quickly. Because, I'm taking a
your retention
10-minute long food video and trying to get it down to 45 seconds and not lose the context of it. Yeah. So it's just cutting so many pieces that it doesn't work for what Opus is doing. But they might actually add that functionality before too long too. That would be crazy if they could compress down like a big video and just use the AI to know which portions are important, and then boom, then you got a short.
It does do that for some content, but for your content, I don't think that topic, like maybe for certain, like it pulls from like conversational stuff. So it will like compress it down. Like even if we say something earlier about like VidSummit and say something later on about VidSummit, it could combine those together. It'll find the two separate moments of talking it and pull them together. But it's still not smart enough to do as advanced what you're saying there. But I'm wondering like when it would get to that point. And yeah,
I'd say probably another year.
Yeah.
AI is progressing quick, man. It's we're not very far off from that being a thing. I'm just glad I'm in a niche that it's very difficult for AI to replace me.
Yeah.
Within a cooking niche, because I have seen some AI cooking videos though. I have seen them. They do exist, and it's like that food isn't even real.
Yeah.
they're having AI food. This is terrible.
Since you are nerdy, I figured I would just tell you this before moving on. There is Agent Opus, which is a video generator. And so it's just making the video from scratch from a prompt. And I wonder if that would be interesting for you. Maybe not for repurposing your content, but for making a different kind of series based on like what you're doing for cooking, or giving a step-by-step. Here's what you're doing. Like, here's how I make the risotto or something like that. And it just gives you images, and you literally just give it the steps. It'll take those steps and make them into a video for you. I wonder if that would be interesting for you. Alternative.
You know, I thought about that, but I figured my audience probably wants to see the version that I'm actually making.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think the first reaction, and I would probably have the same reaction, would be, this guy doesn't actually know how to do this, because he's showing me like this AI version, you know, like these clips from someplace else. People are, you know, they're either embracing AI or they hate it.
Hate it. Yeah.
It's like, there's no in between. It's crazy. Like, even at VidSummit, it was like this, like a line, like never. And then I was taking a lot of time telling people, hey, you do realize you're already using a whole bunch of AI, right?
Yeah.
If you have vidIQ, you're using AI because it's helping you come up with your titles and stuff. I use vidIQ also for that.
Yeah.
So.
But YouTube's been using AI since 2013, just so you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more, like, you know, I drive a Tesla around, so the AI drives the car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not all AI has to be something that's going to take away your job.
Yeah.
You know, there's an awful lot of it that just helps you produce. It's designed to be a tool, just like anything else. It doesn't have to replace you. It's going to be, I think that even already you can see that a lot of these AI videos that are just 100% AI driven, and it's got like like the cat going to the market and stealing the fish and then running out the door with a shopping cart or something.
Yeah.
They're funny, but
it's not going to replace
already gotten to the point where people are already like, okay, whatever, you know, been there, done that. That stuff is not going to be, it doesn't have a lot of staying power, because it gets boring after a while.
I see AI as a multiplier. Like, for example, I had an idea for you where, like, that risotto video, if you just generated a video with AI, here's how AI would make the risotto, and then you put it side by side with your shorts, and like, here's how I made it. Can I make it better than AI or whatever?
Yes, that's they're actually who's doing that? It's Nick Nimmin. I think Opus Clip was actually sponsoring it. They're doing like an editing thing, a video editing thing, where they're taking, I think it's Daniel Batal and somebody else, and they're going to edit a video against like an AI editing the same video, and they're going to see whose video comes out better.
That's awesome.
I can't remember when that's going live, but because I think you like the repost that I put up on that. That's going to be fun to watch.
It is funny how you and I are like constantly online too, because I kept seeing you on LinkedIn, and then I think I might even saw you once on Threads too, just randomly. And it's just one of those things where, like, man, as a content creator, we have to be everywhere, but sometimes it's just a matter of just showing up and interacting with people.
Well, the AI in those systems, it kind of knows who else you're talking to, so it just kind of naturally tries to find the people. I think that works better. Like, Instagram is a little different though. That kind of just throws like a bunch of random stuff. Hey, I bet you know these people. No, I don't know any of them.
I feel like I've been talking to a friend, and we've been having certain conversations, and it's funny because we keep talking about something and then going to Reels to send the Reels to each other. And we keep seeing stuff that's related to what we're talking about in our DMs. And it's very sus, because we're not posting anything about it. We're not talking about it publicly. It's only in the DMs that we're talking about this like one topic or X topic. And then we keep seeing Reels about it right after, and then we'll send it to each other too. So it's the AI on the phone. Yeah. If you got your phone around, your phone can hear you. I mean, that's not even, that was a secret for a while, and then it just wasn't a secret anymore. They're like, oh yeah, your phone's listening to you. No. Well, it makes a lot of sense when you're sitting there talking to your friend and goes, you know what? We're going to go get some Taco Bell. And then all of a sudden you pull up TikTok and there's a bunch of Taco Bell ads. Like, wait a minute, that's why I stopped using my Google Home. Have you ever used Home Assistant at all?
Yeah, I'm using, I have Amazon Alexa all over the house.
Yeah, I don't trust Alexa or Google. Yeah,
I don't care.
Okay.
Well, I don't care if they.
They already get your data. They know everything about you, anyways.
I mean, yeah. If I'm carrying a cell phone around with me that's listening to me 24 hours a day anyway, and any information that they're gonna find out about me, they already know.
I ask because there's a Home Assistant PE or Voice PE, which is like a personal device. It's basically like an Alexa Echo or a Google Nest that is literally just like a open source version of it, which is really cool. I was looking forward to see if I could find it for you. I think it's over there. But yeah, I got one more question here for you before we wrap up. What do you have coming down the line that you're looking most forward to, Joe?
Okay, let's see. Coming down the line, I've already got everything uploaded through the end of November. But I've got, let's see what's coming up. I got a Gourmet soft serve ice cream machine that does like some frozen drinks and stuff too. I've been doing a lot of like slushy content lately because, you got the Ninja Creamy that makes the ice cream but it can do other stuff, even though it does a trash job of things like slushies and things like that. But then the slushy machines came out, which was cool for a niche audience. And then the newer slushy machines came out that could actually kind of do soft serve ice cream also. So for me, that was kind of a thing because, okay, now you got like a dual use machine. That to me was an innovative kind of thing. And then Ninja came out with their new slushie that just came out a few weeks ago and it can't do that, which was a total fail. Yeah. Which I've had to hold my tongue a little bit because I follow a lot of Ninja employees.
Yeah.
Ninja's entire marketing thing is it's centered around disruptive innovation. And they use those words. Mm-hmm. And to me, those are big words. Disruptive innovation is iPhone or Tesla vehicle or the original Ninja Creamy. People that don't know, the original Ninja Creamy is based on a thing called the Paco Jet. And the Paco Jet is a $7,000 piece of restaurant equipment that they use to make ice cream from scratch in restaurants. Well, they found a way to make it for $300. I was like, okay, that is disruptive to me. Changing the color on the thing, not so much. Releasing a product after your competitors release something better, and then you go backwards and you don't innovate past them. That's not disruptive innovation. Yeah. So this other machine I'm talking about, it's a soft serve ice cream machine first. And then can also do some slushies and some frozen alcoholic drinks and stuff like that. So to me, that might be, because we're getting the ice cream where it needs to be first, and then we're doing all the other stuff. So that's probably going to do pretty well. It's gotten a lot of requests. So I picked one up over at Costco and
nice.
That'll be good. But really, I mean, as far as that kind of content goes, it's always the next video. I'm just trying to get as much of the consumer electronics type stuff, the small kitchen appliance stuff out because we've got Black Friday coming. And this is November, December is where my channel lives. It's easily, I make a full-time income out of YouTube, but 25% of my year is probably November, December, January. It's those are very big months. So I got to have as much of that type of content up as possible.
Do you have a database for all your affiliate links or something like that? Or do you just go off of Amazon influencer program? What is going on with your affiliate stuff?
Yeah, I got the Amazon affiliates. I don't have influencer right now because it's, I'm a little bit sketch about promoting the products. Like I'm making a commercial for it. There's a little bit difference in doing a review or a demo versus an ad.
Yeah.
See what I mean? It's a little bit, I don't want to just say you need, like if you look at any of my reviews or anything, you never hear me say you should buy something ever. Not once, because it's not up to me. It's up to how you feel about it. In fact, at the beginning of all those videos, I always tell people that you don't listen to just what I say and take that as gospel. You watch other people's content and you formulate an opinion based on what a lot of people say. Don't just take my word because that is my opinion and it might not be your opinion. And at the end of the day, I want people to spend their money wisely, right?
Not that's what gains trust with you.
Links. Right. Yeah. So, I get the Amazon affiliate links. Also, the YouTube shopping is huge. YouTube shopping is probably the best update to YouTube that's happened in 2 years because they offer better commissions. It's a lot easier to click products there and the percentages are just better. Like Samsung offers this, I'm getting like 18% from Samsung and we're talking about large kitchen appliances and stuff. So those YouTube shopping links work really well. And in addition to that, sometimes I've done some content that I was just paid to do the content, in which case, if it's a review, they'll just send out money for it. And they'll be like, okay, well, you don't have any control of what's in the video. So you better have a lot of confidence in your thing because it's not going to affect what I write.
Yeah, I remember Linus Tech Tips saying the same thing at one point where it's like, yeah, like we'll take your money, but like we're gonna say what we want about the product, good or bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, that's in that, and then the ad revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm probably one of the few people that really believes in AdSense. You see it a lot that people are like, AdSense, no, it's AdSense. You can't make any money. My bread and butter is AdSense, and it always has been. So I don't know what I kind of do know. I managed to figure out how to leverage YouTube's CPMs and RPMs by, this will probably work for you too. What you do is, okay, I'm in the cooking niche, and everybody knows that the CPMs on cooking videos are very low. It's down there with gaming, like a CPM of like $2 or $3 per mil or something like that. And then the RPM, what you get paid is obviously about half of that, right? Well, my CPM is 20. Because my CPM is higher than the investment channels. And that's because I'm leveraging the small kitchen appliances, not the cooking. I'm leveraging the stuff that people buy. I'm leveraging what advertisers are looking for. Just like you see a lot of gamers and they complain, oh, well, we're not making money and this and that. It's like, well, you have to look at it from the standpoint of the businesses that are putting the money down with YouTube.
Yeah.
What types of things, what customer is going to watch their ad, right? And it's not somebody watching somebody like stream Elden Ring or something. But what if that person was talking more about the equipment that they're using and their mouse and their headset and, the video card in their computer? And you know what I mean? If they're leveraging all that stuff, it's like, hey, if you're, we're in the middle of this video, I hope you're, subscribe to the channel, whatever, you got your calls to action. And if you want to know, I'm using this 4060 in here, and it's not the newest card, but you can see, look how good the graphics still look, and it's still going. You can get these. Here's a link. You can get it a lot cheaper than this new one. It's still then people are going to buy off that link. And guess what? It affects the video, the way it's categorized, and the ads that play in the back of that video. That video would have a higher CPM than your other gaming videos because it is more sought after.
Yeah.
Because NVIDIA or MSI or whoever is making that card, they're going to be able to leverage that if they have advertising dollars going into it.
Like, for example, I'm using the Elgato Facecam Pro to record this amazing interview with Joe.
Right. Well, if Elgato is putting up YouTube money, they're going to want to put the money in the videos that are talking about Elgato equipment, right?
Yeah, I definitely have thought about making more tech videos, but yeah, that's interesting.
But it doesn't even have to be a tech video.
Yeah.
It's like you've got those, number one, you got the links in your description for the equipment, which people miss because nobody fills out their descriptions properly. Usually it's this really short thing. People don't understand that, yes, the thumbnail is important, the title is important, the first, the part of your description above the fold is very important because that's what people see. But YouTube sees the entire description. That all goes into how that video is promoted on YouTube. That's why I get a lot of views on videos for I could see that they showed up there searching for some product I don't even talk about in the video because there's a link for it in the description down there somewhere.
Yeah.
It does draw traffic, and it does draw advertising dollars too, because those advertisers can see that too. They can see where the traffic's gone. And then now, since they had that last update where you're allowed to give brands additional information about your analytics, it's like the thing you have to switch on. It's in the Brand Connect thing. That makes a big difference because they can see if they're getting traffic from you, and you'll probably score more deals or get more ads playing on your videos and everything else. I mean, it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. People that have YouTube Premium never see it either, so it's even better.
That's funny. I was just trying to be quiet to take it all in because it's one of those things where that kind of level of analytics is still beyond some of my skill set in a way, even though I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, it's just you're just delving down deeper into. I mean, you could see it pretty quickly though, because you can just look at the search terms that are coming in, and you can see like how much of your how many of your views are coming external. If they're external, then they know they're coming off my website or a Google search or something like that. It's pretty easy if you look at it long enough to kind of be able to tell where things are coming from. And then you just make adjustments based on that. It's rocket science, really.
No.
You just take a little bit of time to, if you're willing to spend a little bit of time looking at it, just like, I think people spend too much time on, like, oh, I got to redo my thumbnail. I got to redo my title. I got to do it over 6 times. And, oh, I didn't get enough views right away. It's like, well, number one, if your channel is small, you're not going to get a ton of views right away.
Yeah.
And number two, maybe I was trying to tell somebody this at VidSummit. It's like, maybe we shouldn't be talking about trying to get a viral video. To me, that word is not a good word, because viral by definition usually means a whole bunch of attention at once. And then what happens at the end of that?
No one knows to do anything about
Nothing.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's gone. So are you willing to spend 10 hours making a video that gets 100,000 views in a week and then never another view in your life, or one that gets 10,000 views a month? No, let's say one that gets 5,000 views a month forever. So it would take you 2 years to get to that 100,000, right? But then it would always be getting, see what I mean? It gains traffic, it gains watch time, it gains, all of this stuff. That's another thing for small YouTubers too. Once you get to a certain point, you don't think about watch time anymore. That becomes an entire metric you don't even have to look at. Because once you've gotten monetized, if you're running your channel right, you don't worry about 4,000 hours of watch time in a year. I mean, I'm getting 30,000 watch hours a month, 40,000 a month. So, I mean, it's never a thing anymore. You got so many videos, as long as you're making them right and a lot of them are getting viewed, you're never going to have a problem with that. So that's another thing you don't even have to think of, right? And just like the subscriber number, you should never be thinking about that. And once you get monetized, because that grows because people like your content. Just like the likes. So if you're focusing on that, then you're not focusing on just making better content for people. Just like the same people that keep changing their thumbnails and I'm going to re-record this video and this. No, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. If it didn't do well, too bad. Maybe it'll do well later. You don't know. In fact,
you can always remake it later too. Make another one.
Well, the video on my channel, the long form video on my channel that has the most views has about 550,000 views on it. And if you look at my timeline on that video, the first 4 months, it had 800 views. That was a doornail video. Yeah. And then you see the line and then it just shoots up. I didn't change a thumbnail. I didn't change a description. I did nothing. It just YouTube found the audience. And then now that video, it's produced like $6,000 of income on the channel. And all it is about using Barkeeper's Friend to clean a stainless steel pan. That's all it is. And then you watch it and it's garbage. It's a garbage video. It's like the color is all messed up and I sound like I'm underwater.
But that's probably the perfectionist in you
out
too.
Out of focus. Well, it's bad. It's just a bad, because I made that video a long time ago. So it's just.
Yeah, your skill. So, but that kind of brings me to another point here where it's like a lot of people don't do enough reps. I talk about this as a personal trainer, like, hey, you need to get to a certain point of doing enough perfect reps of the exercise so that you can get to a certain strength. The more reps you do, the more perfect reps you're going to get. And the more perfect reps you're going to get, the more you're going to level up. Same thing happens with videos and podcasts and blog posts. On this channel, I have a series where I talk about how to be a creator. And one thing I bring up a lot, I got this partially from Roberto Blake too, where it's like, you just make 100 pieces of content. Like, just get to that point, because you don't know what you did right and wrong over the grand scale of things. Like, you're going to have some data, obviously, still. But like, once you get to 100 videos, your skill level is going to be so much greater than when you started.
Yeah, I just started. When I started, I would make one video, and then I have this big Word document. And then for the next video, put number 1. And then it'd be, what am I changing? What am I going to do to make this video 1% better? Just a tiny change. It's like, well, okay,
1%.
Then we're going to do this with the color. And okay. Next video, number 2. What am I? And then but the second video is incorporated with number 1. And then you get down to number 10, the first 9 changes have already been made and they're in every video. Then when you get to 100 videos, your videos are 100% better. And you didn't spend hours and hours and hours and hours changing everything all the time. It's just incremental. It's like you. If you want to get big and get muscular, you ain't doing it overnight. This is years and years and years of training. Just like YouTube, it's years and years. If you aren't willing to commit long term, you're not going to make it, because it's a long game. That's just what it is. Anything worth doing is going to be tough and it's going to be slow. And if you're willing to accept that, I think that it can pay off big time for you, because I think that's the frustration is what gets most people out.
Yeah. I've gotten frustrated this year even. Yeah.
You get to see, oh, these people are doing, and you always make the biggest problem is comparing yourself to somebody else who's the same thing. Like, what are you going to do? You can compare yourself to Joe Rogan. It's not a fair comparison.
Yeah, it's not constructive.
No. Yeah, it's like, it's you have to take your own path to get there. And remember, Joe Rogan already had a presence before he started doing podcasts, because he was on Fear Factor and everything else too.
Screaming at people and all that.
Well, yeah. I think who's the other podcaster that I watch a lot? Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
That guy is awesome. I mean, just the way he interviews people, it's like I don't know if the guy is just unbelievably intelligent or what, because it seems like he already knows the topic that he's going to, like, a pretty good understanding of the topic before he interviews somebody. I've seen him interviewing Elon Musk a couple of times, and he's talking about rocket science and electric vehicles and stuff. Like, he's got understanding of it. And I got so much respect for people that do that. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It just shows that he's taken that extra step to make sure that he is able to ask you great questions, and he asks questions that people don't ask. Like, you've asked a few questions that people don't ask, and that's important, right? He was asking Elon Musk last time I saw him do an interview with him, how he felt inside emotionally when people attack him. And they called him, names and, certain things that they called him after, like, during the election and stuff. And he, like, really opened up, and he said a lot of stuff about how he feels inside. And to me, even though I'm a big Elon fan, I learned stuff about Elon Musk that I read all of the books about him and stuff too, that I would have never known, because I just thought the guy was made of nails. It's just like nothing bothers this guy. But no, he gets just as hurt as the rest of us. There's so much humanity that gets brought to these things that it's just.
That's why I love podcast interviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like when I first started doing interviews back in 2020, I was one of the most prepared you could ever be when it came to being a podcast host. But like you said, it's not until like the incremental adjustments that you actually make that progress. 5 interviews in, I realized my introduction needed completely swapped around and moved things around. 12 interviews in, I realized the way I was doing the pre and post emails needed to be adjusted, because otherwise I wasn't conveying the information properly. And I actually ended up not sending the questions ahead of time to some people. And there was a question at one point where someone had an NDA. They couldn't talk about it. And I didn't know that until the call, because I didn't send them the questions ahead of time. Those small details.
That was way professional. I've done a few podcasts and stuff before, and you're the only one that's ever sent the questions ahead of time. I mean, I didn't really need to prep for them, because that's the way I make content, that I shoot from the hip anyway.
That's what I prefer, is like shooting from the hip. But like, sometimes you have to be prepared. And sometimes I get people who've never been on a show before, and they want that extra level of just like comfort of knowing what they're going to be asked.
Right. Well, that's any interview, any high profile interview. They always get the questions ahead of time. So I never understood when there's like presidential interviews and stuff, like, oh, he knew the questions. Like, well, you're kind of supposed to.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be certain things that you just can't talk about, that they don't want to be on screen with you and say, well, I can't like talk about that.
Well, if anybody wants to find you, Joe, where can they find you online to learn more about you and your channel?
Well, that'd be youtube.com/Joe's Phenomenal. Very easy. Or you can find me at joesphenomenal.com on the internet. Also, both of those places have links to all my other social media, like my X account and everything else, which is very interesting. You can kind of go into those, because it's, for the most part, you get all the best information comes on the YouTube channel.
And I got all those links down below for you anyways, but it's always a verbal confirmation for people listening in. And so once again, this is Dustin, PolyInnovator, and Joe's Phenomenal on the PolyTools Creator Spotlight. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Okay, thank you.
It was good.